back, everybody. Just wanted to share a video with you on a corner property that I've been doing over a year. I also have the two houses right there in the background, the one on the left and one on the right, but they're not in this video. Um, I just wanted to, just share a couple of things, some of the equipment that I use that I've really been enjoying, that's relatively new. Using the Echo Pro Extreme SRM 2620, which you see right there. Bought that brand new over a month ago. Bought the Echo Pro Extreme Stick Edger and the Echo Backpack Blower 580T. Bought those three pieces from Bland's Lawn Equipment, which is on, if you're in the Houston area in Texas, it's on Spring Cypress. Talk to Danny or Mario and tell them that Kevin with Texas Veteran Lawn Service sent you. I'm really getting used to using the trimmer here for the edging. It's really made things a little easier, a little quicker. With the stick edger, I really like using, but I only use it on the overgrown properties that have a lot of those runners that are going across that sidewalk, and that blade that's on the stick edger really cuts that up. Alright, so I'm using the Echo trimmer here, but I'm using the Husqvarna T35 trimmer head, which you saw had that blue bottom. That head will hold just as much line as the Echo fast feed, but it's a lot easier to fill up with line, and I've been using it for ever since I started the lawn business when I bought the Husqvarna 322L, which I still have. And so on this lot, there's a lot of sections of grass right there in this front lawn. There's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's 7, 8. Well, there's 8 sections of grass, so it takes a while to do. It takes me about an hour to do the property. So there's no, better corner than the other to start, or anything like that. If you watch my other video on how to trim down time on a yard, that's a real good one to watch. You could probably learn some tips on cutting down time on a yard. Maybe you're doing a lot more walking around than you need to. So just think of everything as when you're doing your work, you're doing everything in a forward direction. You're never having to backtrack to go back and do something. So play around with that. What I've learned with the trimmer is on this trimmer, I took the guard off, and I did that so I can get a bigger swath, and I'm pushing probably 24 inches, maybe a little wider than that. In fact, it's probably closer to 26 or 28 from one end to the other on the string line. So that allows me to cover more area in less time. I couldn't do that with the other trimmer I had because it didn't have enough power to push it. I am using the Black Diamond, the Echo Black Diamond line, which works really well. I hardly ever use full throttle on this trimmer because the line cuts so good. And oh yeah, a customer had stopped to talk to me, and I wanted to show off my trimmer there to you guys. Yep, there you go. Anyway, so it cuts really well, and with the torque that the SRM 2620 has, I really don't have to do that, do full throttle. So when I'm trimming or when I'm edging, I try to make sure that I'm not pushing that trimmer line into the ground. I want it just close enough to cut the grass so it reduces the chance of a lot of stuff getting wrapped up in the trimmer line and wanting to be slung towards me. I'm using the trimmer for this area here instead of the mower because there's a lot of dips down there, and it's just easier to pivot on a flat surface than it is on a area where there's another dip right here, and then there's another one that's pretty good size a little further up. Yeah, right in there. And so I just trim that and then just go back with the mower, and so that way it doesn't look all chewed up. So things move pretty quick with this property. I'm not doing the fall leaves pickup yet. I'm saving that for when it gets considerably cooler, so that way I'm reserving that work for that. I'm still pretty busy cutting grass here. I tried to give you guys a thumbs up while I was doing the edging, but that was a lot harder than I thought. And anyways, but holding that trimmer at that position with those two hands allow me to, keep my body in the same comfortable position and move forward. And there's not a lot of movement with the trimmer, and I'm not in the direct line of that trimmer line if it wants to pick stuff up. So here we got a lot of leaves in there. I'm kind of in their backyard now, in their little courtyard area, and there's a lot of leaves, but I'm not doing leaf pickup yet. So I'm just trimming the grass and kicking the leaves around. I did trim that tree. I did their tree service a few months back in the summertime, and so that one's trimmed up a little bit, and the other ones are trimmed up too. Next year in the springtime, I'll probably have to do it again, or maybe in the summer, I guess. Like that little tip, that little trick there. Yeah, having that bigger swath, really, you can cover a lot of ground in a short amount of time. Plus, I like the angle that it gives me. The shorter line that you have, the more you have to tilt the trimmer head to be able to hit the grass. But the wider it is, you don't, because it's going to lay closer to that ground. So now in the backyard, I don't have a problem getting any of my mowers back there. So I just trim around the house there, or the tree, and then the fence. Now on this one, it's not a very big yard. It's a pretty small yard. Doesn't take long to do. What takes the time really is, like in the video I'm going to show you, I'm using the scag walk behind mower, and that is what probably takes the time to do the yard a little longer than normal than if I had like a zero turn, or if I was using my stander or something. But this video is the last one I will have of the scag mower there that I'm about to take off. It's the commercial one. Now this trimmer rack here that I'm putting the trimmer on, I'm going to leave a link in the description so you guys can check out that company. It's called Equipment Defender Racks. Fantastic products. They got all kinds of other stuff too that fits on your trailer, and definitely a great product. I got the three trimmer rack, and then I have the backpack blower, and it's just fantastic. So definitely check them out. So on my scag mower here, I have the commercial 32-inch walk behind that I bought brand new from Kubota in August at the Kubota dealership, and then I bought my Kubota from them too the same month. And this scag I just sold. Had it 3 months and I sold it for about $2,200, and I paid, I think, like $35 out the door, something like that. And nothing wrong with it. I was stacking up enough equipment to outfit 2 trailers, because I have 2 trucks, so I had another trailer. I still have the other one, and so I was going to slowly work on building up a crew. But I decided that I'd rather just keep doing everything by myself, and so now I'm selling that mower. I'm selling the Kubota mower. It's having a new transmission put on this week at Kubota. 3 months old and transmission already went out. So they're putting that on, and I'll get that back, and I'll probably do a video on that, and then I'll put that up for sale. I really like the scag. Both mowers share the same engine, the Kawasaki 14.5 horsepower, but the Kawasaki that is on the Kubota, which is the same one, it has, for some reason, it has a higher output. I don't know if it's because the RPMs are higher or what, but it shoots out grass at a lot higher rate. It cuts better, I think, because it's cutting higher, but I know a lot of that has to do with the deck. So they have a vacuum. They have a deck that, for some reason, creates a lot of vacuum, and that seems to make a big difference. All right, so on these sections here, I just kind of do them lengthwise. It takes about 4 passes, and you're done on that 32, and about 3 passes on the 36. I'm running this scag on a number 4 on the speed. There's 5 speeds, so I'm using number 4. It's a comfortable pace, as you can see. It's slow enough to where I can maneuver around anything or stop or slow down without having to lose control. When I'm in the backyard, there's a lot of dips and a lot of um, tree roots, so I'm at a slower speed. It doesn't bounce around so much. Adjusting the height on these mowers are, pretty easy. It's considered a fixed deck, so you can go yard to yard and adjust the height. But in my opinion, if your customers don't bring up the height, you don't bring it up either. You just cut whatever. Now on the height, for all my customers, I'm at about 2 3/4 to 3 inches. I don't really have anybody that wants it tall. Um, and a lot of people here in Texas want it short and green, so um, we're in the cooler time of the year. So in the spring and summertime, you're cutting grass, you're cutting the same property like every week, and right now it's every 2 weeks, and then there'll be a time where it's going to be probably once a month or once every 45 days, but it'll only last for about a month or two, and then be back to springtime. This mower, I keep the discharge chute up with a bungee cord because that gives me a little bit, gives the machine a little bit more room to kick that grass out and disperse it a little easier than if it was down. If it was down, it would want to make a row of cut grass a little bit, not as much, but you would have some of that there, and I didn't want that. The fuel tank on these things are like 5.5 gallons. It's pretty good. I mean, I can last a couple of days, 2-3 days, mowing 10 properties a day on one tank of gas. So you figure 30 properties and you'd still have gas. Now it all depends on the property. This is regular residential. I have 1 acre properties that I've only cut one time with this, and then a commercial property I cut one time with this. I just want to see what it was like. Normally I use the sulky or the standard, but this one cuts real good. I've only sharpened the blades a couple of times. I like to sharpen mine about once a month because I like things really sharp. It makes it easier on the mower for when you're cutting, less chances of having to go back over the area again, and it just shreds the grass better, and it gives a better cut on the grass to reduce the chances of getting any kind of fungus or mold or anything like that from dull, dirty blades. So now we're on the side of the house. So she has a corner lot, and it's just a lot of grass to cut. So here we're going to maneuver around, or we're going to stop to pick up some trash, and then we're going to end up maneuvering around those dip areas. And you get used to using your knees there to maneuver the gear selector, which is pretty easy. On these machines, these walk behinds, you want to make sure you're always in a forward motion when you're working. You really hardly ever want to put something in reverse. If you're mowing up to, say, a corner, like in your backyard or something, and you're mowing up to the corner where two fences meet, and then you have to put in reverse and then turn, well, you're doing it wrong. That's taking a lot of time. I mean, if you don't care, that's fine. You don't care, no big deal. But for those who are trying to cut down on time, when you're trimming, as you see in my other video, cutting down on time, when you're trimming, you get to that corner about 5 feet, about 4 to 5 feet from that corner, then you shoot diagonally over to the other fence, and then you trim everything inside that triangle. So that way, when you're mowing along the fence, you're about 18 to 24 inches from the fence. When you get to that corner, it just rounds out. You just slowly make that arc, and you go around down the other side. And you do that because putting these machines in reverse and then trying to turn around and then put it in forward again, it takes a lot of time. And when you adding up however many times you do that per property, and then for that entire day, it's a lot more time than you think. We're not, like I said, we're not pulling up or raking up leaves today. Look at all those damn leaves, jeez. So the mower, that 32-inch will fit through all of my property gates. And I'm buying a 36-inch standard, which I tried out for a week and a half, 2 weeks. That fit through all of my gates too, which is crazy because the Kubota 36-inch won't fit through some of the gates, but the 36-inch standard will. So I'm thinking the deck is a little wider on the Kubota than it is on the standard. So here I'm at a slower speed. I'm at a number 3 on the gear selector for the speed, where outside I was at a 4. The slower speed allows me to be better responsive in time wise when I'm trying to maneuver around something. Plus, the slower you are and you hit a bump, that machine's not going to just bounce all over the place. It's still going to stay fairly level and just kind of go with the contour shape of the ground. So here this tree's got a lot of roots, a lot of bumpy area. When I used to have the Toro 32-inch zero turn, it would really, man, that thing was so clumsy. I just I wish the deck had 4 points of contact to the frame instead of 3. I think it would have performed a lot better, and I probably would have kept it. But I got rid of that and then bought the Kubota and bought this. So the Kubota has the sulky. The scag here does not. I never put one on there. I decided not to put one on there because it was a small machine, where the Kubota was a lot heavier and it could pull my weight with no problem without really the front end coming up so much. Where this 32, you'd be popping wheelies all day long and wouldn't get shit done. You know, I've tried all my mowers on all of my properties, even my push mower on an acre property, because I wanted to see what the equipment can do if push came to shove and I had to use it as an emergency or if other equipment broke down. So I have I have done an acre with a push mower, a 20 or 21-inch Toro recycler. Um, Took a little longer than I wanted to, but um, it did it just fine. So I know if my new mower breaks down, I know I can do that for, gosh, however long, a week or two. But if you haven't had a chance to try out the walk behinds and you're thinking about it, definitely go to your local dealer and try those out. They're really great to have. They'll last a long time. Just take care of your stuff. You know, some commercial companies, you look at their equipment, you're like, dude, that is beat to hell. Yeah, well, that machine's probably also 10, 15 years old. But you can have something that's 50 years old, you know, and, you know, like a Corvette or something, and it look brand new. So it's all on how you take care of your stuff and your equipment. You know, some people don't care when they load it on the trailer, it gets banged around really bad. Just take care of your stuff. So I just kind of, on this property, since we're not cleaning up leaves, I just kind of blow everything towards the center of that tree the best that I can. And sometimes I take the backpack blower and kind of disperse it a little bit more in the center of the yard when you're cutting those rows. But this one wasn't too bad, so I really didn't do that. All I did was just clear off the back patio, and that was it for the back. Now, one thing that I really like about these folks is they pick up their dog poop. There's some yards I do, you would think they have 10 dogs and only got one, and that dog just, you know, poops 10 pounds of turds all day long. And, you know, so I've never, ever seen a dog turd in this backyard, and I've been cutting their grass over a year, not once. I do know they walk their dog in the neighborhood a lot, but I know they pick up behind their dog too. That's also healthy for the grass. So we're done there. And one thing about that mower is, because it's such a narrow deck, a 32, you want to make sure if you were to draw a line in the center of that mower and just draw it right down the center, you got two halves. You want to keep your body kind of on the left side of the center, because that right side, sometimes depending on the angle and the wind, it'll want to, when you're cutting the grass, it'll pick up debris and it'll kind of sling it towards the side of your face. And that's probably why the owner's manual says leave the discharge chute down. But who's got time to, open it and close, or lift it up and let it down, lift it up, let it down. I mean, you'll be here all day for that. So just be mindful of that. Be sure to wear some type of glasses too. So as I put this up on the trailer there, we go ahead and I get it close to that rail as I can, make it real snug, and then I go ahead and strap it down with the strap. So that way it's not bouncing all over the place, getting damaged, beat up on the trailer. So when it cools off a little bit more, maybe towards the end of November or in December, then I will go ahead and start doing the extra landscaping stuff, like bagging up the leaves, doing the flower beds, the tree trimming, pressure washing, things like that. I try to max out my time as long as I can with cutting the grass and leaving the other projects on reserve, because I don't want to do all of my extra projects in 1 month because I won't have anything the other months. So now we're getting the backpack blower out. Now you'll see towards the end of the video, you'll see a better view of the equipment defender rack for that blower. And these racks, I mean, they're super tough. They're the real deal. You can put your equipment on and off, lock it up in no time flat. That's the Echo 580T backpack blower I got. The one I had before that was the only blower I've ever had, and that was the Husqvarna 125 BV, which I still have, and it works great. But now that I picked this guy up a couple months back, it's the only one I use. I am thinking about possibly getting a bigger one down the road, one that can disperse a lot more area a lot easier. So here it does a good job. I don't have to get on top of stuff to move it. Cleaning up, the edge of these yards here makes it pretty darn easy. So we're just blowing everything up there in the grass. I'm not worried about raking up leaves or grass. Don't do any of that crap. When the customer asks, well, hey, can you blow out the cracks on the grass? I do, and I charge for that. But, if a customer doesn't mention it in the very beginning, then I don't mention it. And so I did have some customers one time say, well, I noticed the last couple times you cut it, which is like the first couple times I cut it, you didn't blow out the cracks. I said, oh, well, you didn't mention that you wanted that done. And I said, so if you want that done, it's going to be a few dollars extra because of the amount of time that it takes to blow it out. Now, blowing it out doesn't take much time, but having to find a place to put all that blown out grass back into the grass, all that takes time to get that grass to maneuver it in the direction that you need it to go. And so as you can see here, I'm gonna turn around and you'll see the grass there. It'll all be cleared up. It'll look good. So, and I don't have picky customers. The ones who are real picky, I get rid of right away, or I can generally tell doing the estimate. And if they're super picky, I'll bid that property stupid high just so I don't get that customer, because I don't want every customer I do an estimate on. We'll cover that later in my video series, So You Want to Start a Lawn Business. And I try to post them Monday and Tuesday for that content. I did post one Monday evening, I think it was, or Tuesday morning or something, so definitely check that out. Each week it's a step-by-step progression on starting from square one, and moving forward. So a lot of people who post tutorials on helping you out, I think it's fantastic they're doing that. Some of them just kind of pick a topic on that one part and that's it. And normally it's all, okay, well, equipment startup, you're talking, you need $5,000. No, that's stupid. You don't need all that. So mine is going to be based off of my experience of getting started and getting all the way up to having, a lot of equipment and stuff. So like I don't have just mowers. I mean, I have an auger, I have pressure washer, I have, you know, chainsaws, I have pole saws, I have all kinds of dethatcher, I have all kinds of equipment that all pertains to landscaping and lawn service that I got little by little. So we'll cover that as we move forward in that video series. So be sure to subscribe and click the bell. That way you get notification. That's a notification bell. So that way you get notifications of stuff that's coming out. This little corner area sometimes is a pain when you're trying to direct that grass where you want it to go, those leaves, because there's a lot of wind. That's right there, that corner, for some reason. And you could be blowing stuff one way and the wind's going to be like, nope, we're going this way. And there's nothing you can do about it. After a while, you just kind of say, forget it, and you just kind of let it go with the wind, and then you just disperse it the best you can, like I am there a little bit. Not the whole amount that I have, but I'm dispersing some of it. That's less I have to try to take care of. So there we're getting that, trying to get it over there to that little corner, and just kind of blow it over there, that little drainage, and it goes. It's all biodegradable. In a couple of days it'll be shrunk up, and it's not like it's going to clog the sewers or anything. So here the sidewalks clean up real good. Get all that done. Yeah, if you're still using a hand blower, you know, and it still works good, then, you know, I wouldn't worry about buying a brand new one. But if you want to be able to cut down on time, definitely the more dispersed, you know, if air amount of air, volume of air you can put out, definitely will be better, because it will shorten up that amount of time that you're out there, you know, messing with that stuff. And so I went from that handheld blower to this backpack Echo backpack blower, and I was just like, dude, it's fantastic. So I definitely want something that can disperse quite a bit more. Maybe their 700 series, check that out. So this equipment defender rack, which you're about to see here in just a moment, is definitely a piece that you need on your trailer if you're just throwing stuff in the back of your truck. If you got room on your trailer for it, look how fast. And I'm not even rushing. I'm taking my time, put the straps together, put it in the defender rack there, put the deal on there, whoosh, done, close the deal, grab my key to lock it, and that's it. You're done. I really appreciate you guys watching, and we will see you guys next time.
Thank you.